Hello and welcome back to Florida Foodie. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Candace Campos. Today we are sitting down with a Brevard native. We always love when they're born, raised in here, raising their families as well. But in 2020, when a lot of people were kind of just sheltering in place, she decided to start her own business.
Pretty bold move.
Yeah.
We are so happy to be joined today by Q Bredwood, the owner of Q's Crackin Crab Restaurant. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We have heard fantastic things about your restaurant, the best seafood around, we hear. Tell us a little bit about your background. Obviously, you're from Central Florida, but how'd you get started cooking and owning a restaurant?
I feel like it's just been something that I've always liked to do. I'm the oldest of 27 grandkids, so I've always cooked. I was always like helping my mom and stuff like that. And I never thought of it as a business, just something to do, and I kind of just fell in it. Honestly, literally, it started off as a hobby. I was doing like game nights at my house, and I would tell people, okay, you bring the seafood, I'll do the food. And then I realized not everybody's enjoying it. And so I did like a pop-up one time, and I started selling plates, and I made a lot of money. And I was like,
This is a good idea.
yeah. And so I just started doing that. And then I got the opportunity to have my own spot a few years ago. I did that for a year. Then I started doing catering. And I wanted to give it another try since I had that experience. And I met my husband throughout that time. And he was like, let's do it. And we opened up Q's March 13, 2020 is when we signed our lease.
Wow. And that was Friday the 13th, the day that the whole world started shutting down.
Imagine, like, isn't that crazy? Like,
Yes.
That is kind of crazy.
Did you think about it at that time? Oh, it's Friday the 13th. You know, we've been hearing this kind of stuff in the news. Maybe
It
we
was
should wait.
it was weird because honestly, we found the building at the end of January. And then we were negotiating our lease from January to February, and we were watching our friend who was in China as a teacher and talking about this pandemic.
You're like, that's crazy.
And I was like, that's crazy. Exactly. I was like, that's not going to happen,
Right.
you know? And surely it came right over to us. And we signed our lease, and then a week later, all the restaurants closed. And I was like, what did we just do?
Right? Were you panicking?
Yeah.
For a second, and Anthony was like, you know what? The money's already spent. We negotiated 4 months of free rent. So let's just watch out and look at everything, but we don't have to open right away. Let's wait a few months. And we waited to 4th of July weekend, and everybody was ready to get out of the house at that time. And we opened, and it was fine.
And what a great location. Let's just talk about that. I mean, you're nestled between, mean, you got the pier right there. I mean, could you have picked a better spot?
I know. The crazy thing is there was a bagel shop before, and they weren't really using it, the whole space. So, I think they were using it like 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so we kind of just went into it and made it work, and it's perfect. It's like right in the middle of 528 and 520, you know, on A1A. So we're right in the middle of everything.
Yes.
We get a lot of cruise people because we're like less than 5 minutes from the world's largest port. So,
And when you're at the ocean, you want to eat seafood, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about your specialties.
So I think what makes us stand out is like our seafood rice and our macaroni and cheese. So we throw in a little, that's why I call it soulful seafood, because it's like I throw in our soul food, but it's like our still Florida style seafood with the garlic butter and the Cajun seasoning and stuff like that. Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
It really is. And we have like fried lobster tails. I have these dishes we call juicy bowls when they go on top of like garlic shrimp, steak, or chicken, and it goes on top of our mac and cheese or a seafood rice. I wish I would have brought something.
Well, you said it. After Mother's Day, they cleaned you out.
Oh, yeah. Like Saturday, we got cleaned out. Thank God I have partnerships with local businesses, and they were able to meet us on Sunday on a day off so we can replenish.
Is that where you get your seafood from? Is it from
So,
Brevard
we
County?
have local vendors, and then we have like national vendors as well, too.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite thing to make, whether it's at the restaurant or at home? What's that one thing that really kind of...
I love a good like salmon and veggies and rice. I love a good steak and I love barbecue. It sounds crazy.
But you're a crab chef.
I know, but I'm like, I love a good barbecue. But at home, I try to do like fish and shrimp and veggies. That's my go-to. Or curry chicken. My husband's Jamaican, so we do like a lot of island style food at home too.
So since you've opened this restaurant, your first brick and mortar location, what has the reception been like in the community? Obviously, we know you're extremely popular, but what's that been like for you to see that?
It's still like, it feels weird living in the dream that you had once, and now having, you're in it. So it's great, but it's a lot of pressure sometimes, because it's like an artist having that first one good like record and you like, we want multiple locations, but I feel like we have to manage everybody's expectation that everything may not be the same as this one. It's gonna be as much as the same, but you have those issues.
I mean, you balance, you have a very good way of balancing a lot of things. You guys are in the community. You have your own restaurant. Oh, and you also have how many children?
7 total.
7 total.
7 children. And that in and of itself is a lot to manage.
That's a double full-time job.
And mind you, they range in age from almost 1 to 19.
Yeah, so we have 4 at home. The girls, it's always busy. Like
it's all girls.
7 girls, by the way.
Yeah, so I stay at home during the week with 2 of them. Then my 14-year-old is in high school. My 19-year-old is in college. She's a manager at the restaurant. She works on the weekends.
Oh, great.
I stay at home during the week with the baby and my 4-year-old because we're trying to find a new school for her, but she starts VPK in the fall. So, yeah, and it's...
So when you're not there, who is running the restaurant?
So my husband's there every day. He gets up, goes to the gym, goes in prep, and then like he's there all day. We have staff of like 10, and then of course my daughter works on the weekends as a manager. We like to hire like a lot of the young high school and college students. So we can give them their first shot of employment and stuff like that. I hire a lot of my friends' kids or the community kids that go to the high schools that I went to and stuff like that.
How is it, having your own restaurant, seeing your family, involved in business as well, but also keeping it all in Brevard County? I mean, how is that kind of full circle moment?
I think it's a beautiful thing. Like for me, I moved a lot growing up. So I went to 3 different high schools. So I have relationships at like Cocoa High, Rockledge High, and I graduated from Satellite High.
Oh yeah, you're jumping around.
Like, yeah.
You know everyone.
I know everyone. And then I come from a family of like entrepreneurs. Like my dad was an entrepreneur. My mom had multiple salons. It was something that was ingrained with me.
Yes.
But like I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist, so I did a lot of pharmacy work. But I always had I liked cooking, but I worked as a hostess, bartender, server. So I knew the front of the house. So when opening up, I knew how it's supposed to look.
Yes.
And I probably didn't have the full back of the house experience. I'm like, I know I need a stove.
Step 1, stove, check.
Food.
So it was a growing process. Like, oh my God, I remember when we first opened, I didn't realize how much storage we needed. So we kept selling out because, if you're going to buy a lot of food, but if you don't have a lot of storage. So, and in the middle of the pandemic, I think deep freezers was really hard to find.
Yeah, because everyone was stocking up.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I was calling like every Lowe's, every place. As soon as we would get one, we would go and I would rent a pickup truck and we would put it on the back of the truck and bring it. Like, we're crazy like that. Like, we really are.
But you have to do a lot of that in order to succeed, right?
Yeah, you can't wait on anybody to do it for you. There's no Superman coming.
And I think having your history with a family of entrepreneurs, like you were saying, is really helpful because when you were describing, trying to hire people and you have 10 employees, that seems daunting. You know, all the different things. And we talked to so many people who, well, I love to cook, so I wanted to open a restaurant. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it.
Oh my gosh, there's so many different things, like from payroll to taxes to personalities, people like, you know, you have employees that really like...
Especially when they're family or friends.
Family or friends. And then, you know, young, impressionable kids is what I call them, you know. A lot of time they don't have the experience and, you know, they don't know how to deal with adversity of tough situations. So we're teaching them a lot. My husband played football, and so he has that structure. So we have a lot of football players that work with us. So
Nice.
we I like we're coaching them a lot of times and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
How do you maintain that sense of positivity when you do face so much adversity, whether it's, oh no, you know, my freezer is out, or I need another freezer, or now I can't get this, or, you know, whatever it might be?
I feel like our faith, like, is just super strong. Like, we're just, we're really big into energy and keeping our vibration, like, cool, calm, and collected. Like, that's just the type of people we are. And so, I try
and it's
not
important to
panic.
have that
Yeah,
in your
you gotta
line
be
of work.
centered.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You really do, because it's a lot of different things. Like, for instance, on Sunday, or Saturday was crazy. Sunday was just about the same amount of numbers, but it was like calm, you know. So you have to be able to deal with the craziness, and the calmness is like good too, but it's still busy.
And I mean, I'm just thinking about your location and how busy it must be. Because, you know, some restaurants are like, oh, our busy time is just on Saturday or just on a Tuesday, or
You're
I feel
in
like,
Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, you're in
How
Cocoa
far
Beach.
from Port Canaveral are you?
Like literally 3 to 4 minutes away.
By-
Because we're on
you have
the
to-
edge of Cocoa Beach and at the beginning of Cape Canaveral.
So do
by like
you
the Ron
have-
John.
Do you have the cruise ship schedule down so you know when
Here
all
they
of a
come.
sudden?
Oh yeah,
All in their hats and their flip flops.
Yeah.
Here
I
they
live on
come.
Merritt Island, so when I drive into work, I pass the port every day, and so I literally count the ships. I'm like, oh, 4 ships. Okay, this is gonna be how
Yeah.
it is. 5 or 6 or 7. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy.
And I feel like they keep adding more cruise
I
ships
know.
every day.
Yes,
It's like,
and launches.
Oh yeah, the launches, all of that. So we also think that Q's has become like a tourist trap almost, and that is way bigger than me now, which is funny. Like
That's good.
Yeah, it's what
Yeah.
you want, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't even wear a name tag or anything. Like sometimes they recognize me with.
Do they ask for your autograph?
Oh, they ask for my picture, not autograph. They always want pictures.
What
for
is
sure.
that like when
after this
Yeah.
film, they'll need your autograph.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's cool. I love talking to the customers. I love hearing their stories, how far they've driven to come, why they came. We've had a lady that drove 4 hours because it's her daughter's chose to come near after heart surgery. We've had people drove like 8 hours because they were stationed in Patrick and used to come to us every day, and then they wanted to come back to visit.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's the vibe like? You know, because you think of a, you know, seafood spot and it could range. It could be very island time or very bougie. You just don't, you
I
just
feel
don't
like
know.
we're in the middle of fast, casual, but
Yeah.
nice vibe. Like on the weekends, I have a DJ. He comes on like 4 to 7, and we
Okay.
do like R&B, some hip hop, and like island vibes. We do old school music on Friday.
Okay.
We've done karaoke.
What's old school music? Because I'm starting to get to that
90s,
time. Okay,
2000s,
that's old school.
you know?
Oh God, it's old school. It's true though.
It is, but you just gotta go with it.
You do.
But yeah, no, the vibe is pretty cool. Like I do feel like sometimes people think our place is larger than what it is because it has such a broad name, a big name. So we're looking into maybe doing an event space down the road so that we can host more because we only have 50 seats.
Okay.
But like we'll get a party of 40, 45.
Yeah. But that can help. I mean, because we have talked to other restaurant owners, namely John Rivers, who, when he started out, had a very small location in Winter Park. As a result, there was always a line out the door, and it created a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
Why is everyone always
Right.
there at that line.
And they pull up before we open. They line up, and it's fun. It's
Waiting for their spot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we love it.
Now, what are your hours?
So we're open Wednesday through Sunday. At first, it took a lot of time for people to get used to that. We're closed on Monday and Tuesday. I did that because I wanted to balance our family life. Like, I think that maybe for some people, opening 7 days a week worked for them, but like for us, I want to have some type of life balance.
But you know everyone's going to be craving shoes Monday and Tuesdays.
Oh, they would come on Memorial Day, on any holiday on a Monday, and just go off of me because we weren't open. But now I think they're used to it. But Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 8 on Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 6, or 11 to 9, and then 1 to 6 on Sundays.
Okay.
So I made it so that after we get off work on Sunday at 6, we can take a vacation and come back Wednesday.
Nice. That's smart.
That is why you are as successful as you are, because you know how to plan out your weekends.
Yes.
So this July 4th will mark 3 years in business for you at this location. How would you describe your growth over those 3 years?
It's just been a whirlwind. We just went through our renewal. That was very stressful. Going through that process.
Like being the tenant.
Yeah, yes, because we, didn't know if we were going to be able to stay or if we were going to want to do if we wanted to stay or go into a larger space. And because we had those options, we decided to just go ahead and stay. But it's been cool because, there's different parts. We had the pandemic part, and then we had the newness. And then the growing stage. So I don't know. I feel like the next 3 years, we have already solidified who we are, and it's just growing our brand and figuring out which other locations we want to be at.
Oh, so another location. Do we have an idea yet of where you want to go? Do you want to keep it in Brevard? Do you want to go somewhere else?
We have so many Orlando customers. I would say maybe 30-40% that are from Orlando. It's huge. Probably more than that. We do want to one day go to Orlando. Vieira is a hot spot for us.
There's so much shopping there.
I know. So we're looking at
It's
Palm
dangerous.
Bay.
Yeah.
So we have people that come from St. Cloud, Kissimmee, Lakeland. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice being where you are, because obviously it is a tourist destination. So people from all over the world are going to experience who you are.
Yeah.
And you've also received a lot of awards.
Yeah.
Tell us about those
Little
awards.
cherry on top, shall we? Yeah.
So last year I received the Entrepreneur of the Year award and from Space Coast Black Chamber, and also the New Startup Business of the Year.
Congrats.
I'm probably forgetting some.
How awesome is that, though? And especially for your parents who have also been entrepreneurs now, to see their daughter.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I was talking to my mom today, and she's like, I learned a lot, and then I handed the baton to you, and you're doing a lot, and you're gonna have to do the same thing for your girls. I'm like, it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's been a amazing thing. I think my 4-year-old may be the business one. Our 14-year-old loves to cook. The older ones, it's funny because I have the young and the older set. So the older ones are like, man, the girls are growing up different than we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were there when you were grinding, and now they're reaping the reward.
So what were you doing before you started that pop-up? And what year did you start that little pop-up when you...
When I started cooking, that was back in 2016.
Okay.
So
Still relatively new. I mean, within 7 years, you go from your first pop-up
so
to where you are today.
I was doing pharmacy. I thought I wanted to be a pharmacist. I was a pharmacy tech. I did oncology. I did auditing pharmacies all around the state. So I was like...
But I mean, what a 180.
I know.
I'm trying to come up with something that would help from pharmacy, maybe the chemical and
Do you
cooking.
miss any part of that?
I do. I'm a true businesswoman. I love doing different things. And so sometimes I think about opening up a medical clinic, that offers pharmacy stuff. because I still have a lot of friends in that world. I think about being an attorney, business law, and commercial real estate.
Girl.
I don't turn off. I really don't.
I mean, you did just tell us, though, right before we started taping,
Yeah.
you're also becoming a professional dancer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just signed up to be a celebrity dancer with the Space Coast. Dancing for the Space Coast in Brevard. So I'm learning ballroom dancing. I'm learning the Foxtrot dance right now.
Is that one of your favorites so far?
Yeah, honestly, I was really scared because, like, I just turned 40 and I was like, okay, I want to, step outside. I'm pretty shy. I know you won't believe it, but I am. And so I wanted to do
don't believe
something.
that.
I wanted to do something different and, outside of my bubble. And I'm excited to, go out and learn how to do something new and prove it to myself.
You talked a little bit about mentoring some of your employees and other people in the community. And we obviously meet so many people who have huge dreams of running a business and a
Yeah.
restaurant. What would you tell them is your, prime ingredient in your recipe for success?
I say, just believe it in yourself. I know it sounds cliche, and I just spoke at a woman empowerment brunch this Saturday, and I was saying the same thing. It's like, I remember being so afraid to, step out on faith, and I felt like God had to just push me out,
Yeah.
And once that happened, it's not going to be easy. I think that people think owning your own business is easy because you're doing what you love. No, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because you're doing what you love, So.
And there's a lot of fear in that
yeah.
too. I mean, you have invested a lot of money that it's kind of a big gamble.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And so you deal with anxiety and stuff like that. That's something that I'm always I'm learning to push past because I'm an overthinker. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I do this right? Or this is going to happen if I do this? What if they don't do this? But having my baby just recently forced me to be pushed out of the everyday situation.
Yeah.
Like you said, sometimes God's the one also kind of guiding you in and out.
And so now my team can work the business without me being in it. Sometimes they're like, Miss Q, I got it. Miss Q. So.
It also gives faith in your team as well. Being able to say, okay, I'm going to step back for a few days. And
I
then
know,
see
but
how
it's
you guys
like
do.
my big baby. So
That's
it's
true.
just sometimes I still just want to be in the midst. That's why I need another one, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Going back to your menu real quick, how has that evolved over the 7 years that you've been cooking food professionally?
That's a good chuckle.
Because I just thought about how the pictures used to look from the beginning to now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's evolved a lot.
So social media has played a huge role in that too.
Oh, yeah. So I used to post all my pictures. Matter of fact, that's how I met my husband. I was tagging him because we had a mutual friend. And I would start tagging him in my pictures. And he's like, let me just go up to this restaurant.
Wow. Was that
at
intentional?
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is awesome.
Look what I can make.
And when he came, I made this big, huge plate. And so that's how that happened.
Okay.
So what's your favorite thing on your menu?
The fried lobster tail.
Fried lobster tail.
Our fried
And
lobster.
do you have the same thing? Because you are dealing with seafood, so I have to imagine some of the stuff is seasonal.
I say there's some times when we can't do our garlic crab fries and people get really upset about that. They dry.
Garlic crab fries?
Yeah, so our garlic crab fries with blue crab claw meat, and garlic aioli sauce, our crab seasoning. We sell
Keep talking.
we sell our own seafood seasoning as well. I think we're sold out of all our merch, so we're restocking now. But we have our lemon and herb seasoning, garlic, lemon, and herb, our crab seasoning that we use every day on our seafood.
And you came
hot
up
sauce.
with those recipes yourself?
Yeah. So, and then
With
we
influence from family members?
I said my influence has been my mom. My mom has always done I remember when I started doing seafood and she was I wanted to use there's a lady named Mrs. Apples that has a blue crab little shack in Merritt Island. And I was like, let me just use her butter. My mom was like, no, do your own, create your own sauce, so it can be yours. And I'm glad I did listen because now I have my own individual sauce that I like to make.
And merch.
And merch. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been a amazing journey. Like I do have one of our employees that, you find employees that I can't say really like, but you do. And we have one that followed my footsteps and has left and become an entrepreneur. I actually have multiple ones that have done that already.
That is amazing.
And in 3 years, yeah. So.
And probably so many more coming from the restaurant.
I think I've myself before getting into this field, I worked as a restaurant hostess and server at this guy's restaurant. And he had 5 daughters, and he's still open his pizza gallery at in Vieira. And we've had multiple restaurant owners come from him. So it's like
nice.
A cool thing to kind of continue.
A legacy.
Yeah.
Well, Q Bredwood, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We wish you nothing but the best. Summer season getting in full swing now. We know your place is going to be packed, all 50 seats full every single day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
And good luck with the dancing.
Thank you. And if you're ever in an area, please stop in. I would love to take care of you.
Oh, we will.
Oh, yeah.
That's a guarantee. Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for listening to Florida Foodie. We'd also like to thank our guest, Quinisha Bredwood. You can find her business online at crackincrab.com. You can also find it on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to follow Lisa Bell online. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook and Instagram, or Lisa Bell News 6 on Twitter. You can also find Candace Campos on social media. She's on Twitter. Just search @CandaceNews6. On Facebook, search Candace Campos News 6. And on Instagram, search Candace Campos WX. Also, a big thank you to our technical producers, Derek Mosier and Ryan Haley, our post-production audio engineer, Chris Flora, and our director, Joe Grennan. I'm the show's producer, Thomas Mates. Please take the time to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or wherever you stream podcasts. And you can find videos of all of our podcasts on clickorlando.com and on YouTube. Just search for Florida Foodie.